are tuned in to the Wado Radio Show. Wado Radio, where it's more than music. Yes, it's more than music. Said it's MINISTRY.
It's your boy Derek Minor, and this is Wado Radio.
Violence has been, it's a really big, hot button topic right now. Particularly after the whole Sandy Hook situation and all the stuff that's been happening in Chicago. You know what I mean? People, I think, are really looking at this whole thing with guns and the whole 9 yards, man. You're a smart dude, man. I know you always stay up on this stuff. From our conversations offline, man. I just would love to get your thoughts on what do you think we can do with this issue? Because it's clear we got a problem. You got people shooting up schools. You got people dying in the hood, which is not anything new, but it's still an issue.
Yeah. What can we do to solve the violence issue?
Sure.
That is I believe if we knew the answer, it would have happened already. But some of the thoughts I have are, I think the issue that we have in America is the degeneration of the American family. I think that it starts there. I think that's the problem. That's one of the bigger. I mean, ultimately, as Christians, we know what the big problem is. The big problem is sin. The big problem is that the world needs a savior. But if we were to just go on the practical, political level, it's the degeneration of the family structure.
Sure.
And I'm not even just talking about homosexual marriage, although I think that that's an issue as well. You know what I'm saying? But when I say degeneration of the family structure, I'm saying that we have men that they have no responsibility to their family. Like, everything is go get money, go be famous, go be rich, to the point to where it's like women, there's no honor in a woman staying home and raising kids. And that's not bad. Like, we look at that as a woman saying, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, as if that's bad. And that's not bad. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with a woman work. My wife works. You know what I'm saying? She's a pharmacist. My wife works. So I definitely don't have a problem with women working. But when we, in our brain, when we say, oh yeah, a woman staying at home, that's so old school, that's archaic, like, then that's a problem. Because if the father's working and the mom's working, and there's no intentional, like, we're gonna take care of our family, how do the kids, how do they get raised? You know what I'm saying? So I think the degeneration of the traditional family is one of the biggest issues, because now we got kids raising themselves. Television is raising them. Nothing's wrong with television. Like, television itself is not bad, but television raising your kids is bad.
Horrible.
When they get their worldview and perspective from television, there's a problem. When their worldview and perspective is shaped by school, that's a problem. The parents should be shaping the worldview of their kids, and then the school should be adding elements to help them, to be honest, really, optimally, there should not really have to be schools. Like, the parents should be able to teach the kids most of the basics of how to function in life. And then you go to a school for the specialty type situations. You see what I'm saying? But we're sending kids to be raised by the teachers. Parents are not involved in their school, in the children's life. Television is raising kids. Video games raising kids. Movies are shaping our world perspective, and what happens is these young kids that are raised by television, they grow up to be men that are raised by television, and then they make the decisions. So now that's why we want everything fast. Oh, I don't have to have a family. That takes a lot of work. I don't want to have a lot of work. I want it microwaved quick.
Right now.
Give it to me quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's been a problem in the hood for the longest. It's not necessarily just, it hasn't been that, oh my God, that these African American people, these black people they're wicked. They're no wicked than any other, you know what I'm saying? We're no wicked than any other culture or race. The problem is the family structure has degenerated. But now what you're seeing overall is you're seeing degeneration of the American family.
Yep.
And with that, you'll see more people that feel isolated and don't feel accepted, so they go shoot a school up for attention.
Yeah.
So I would say the issue is not the gun per se, because a lot of people don't know the same day of the Sandy Hook shooting, there was a guy in Asia who had stabbed over 30 people.
Yeah.
So if you take guns away, the mass hurting or killings potentially could be there. Like people, one thing about it is the Bible talks about inventors of wickedness. Take the guns away, that's not going to change.
People just going to invent more wickedness.
They're going to invent other wicked ways to destroy amounts of people. So it's not the issue. The issue is behind that, and we keep wanting to address. We keep wanting to address the symptoms rather than addressing the real issue, the core issues of what's going on. And then now that's just from a overall general perspective. Now we're talking about from a Christian perspective.
It's always the gospel.
If we're talking, it's the gospel, bro, and it's the involvement of the church. See what the church has said. I can't count the number of times when I get tweets that's like, "Yo, let's be in the world and not of the world." What does that mean? Like, you shouldn't be involved. Like, it said be in the world but not of the world. But then when you see a guy like Cray go to a place like the Grammys or be in the BET Cypher or be something like that, you say, "Oh God, that's not good." Like, you shouldn't be around those guys. You might stumble.
Right.
And it's like, so what happened to be in the world and not of the world? It's like how in the world can we say we want to see the music industry change if we don't get in the industry
and change it?
How can we say we want public policies? I hate when people talk about how bad Obama is, how bad Bush was, how bad Congress is, etc., and they ain't voted not one person to no office. Like, how can you talk about the bad political structure when we don't want to vote as Christians? I'm talking about Christians.
Yeah.
Christians don't vote, or Christians don't run for political office.
Right.
Like, you won't even run for political office in your local city, but you'll complain about how bad your city is.
You know, something simple we can do is call your congressman.
That's
basic. And tell them, this is what I believe. This is what I think you should do.
Absolutely.
They take all that into account.
They do, because they're thinking if the majority of people stand up, because politicians are going to go with the majority every single time.
Because they want to get reelected.
They want to get reelected. So if we have a force of Christians who saying that we're going to be in the world, like we're actually going to be in the world. So we're going to be in politics. We're going to be in art. We're going to be in, I'd love to have a Christian lawyer working my cases. I love to have a Christian surgeon operating on me if I go through it. Like, we're going to be in the world looking to seek to influence in places that may be even really, really dark. Yeah. Rather than saying, oh, we're going to just go in our little bubble and expect the world to come to us. Yeah. Like, it's not going to work, bro. And I think that's the overall that's where I think the church has failed, is we've completely poured ourselves out of science. And we talk about how off science is and how they don't love the Lord, or science is, it's not science versus God. It's that people, like in science, we've removed ourselves from the sciences. So now you have people that have made theories, like they set them in stone because Christians have completely removed themselves from the conversation. Yeah, it's just a theory, but there's no one to challenge the theory. So the theory goes on being, like, after a while, it's accepted as truth. Yep.
Wado Radio.
Wow, wow, wow.